I'm live. Hello, everybody. This has taken a minute. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joanna Danielle. I'm founder of Wounds to Scars, and I'm administrator of this community. I work with adult survivors of childhood trauma. I help women to process, to deal with unprocessed trauma so that they can show up more effectively in their everyday lives. Right. So, I'm trying to test this on my phone, which is not working. So, I'm hoping that the sound is clear, though. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're good. I want to talk about the things that affect your decision making and really important conversation I was having. And I thought, when I'm having a conversation like that, I thought, let me come and talk to my community and see if you guys are experiencing the similar things and what to do. I can see that somebody's here live. I want to say hello. I'm not able to see because I'm using a new stream and not on Facebook. So hopefully I can see you in the chat on my phone. So say hello. Let me know who you are and where you're watching from. So one of the things that affect our decision making are hidden fears, inadequacies, and shame, guilt, those things. Now, where did those things come from, and how do they affect our decision making? So those things come about as a result of in our early lives when trust is damaged, especially when trust is damaged by parental figures. Oh, hi, Eleanor. When trust is damaged by parental figures, then we experience feelings of inadequacy. We struggle with fear and guilt and shame. And when we have those things running in the background, it disrupts our lives in different ways. One of the ways it does is cause us to affects our decision making. We second guess ourselves, or there's perfectionism, or there's low self-esteem, or there's a lack of value or celebrating ourselves because we're always wondering if we've made the right decision, wondering if we've done the right thing. And so sometimes our decision making, though we've made the right decision or we're doing things that we want to do, there's this fear on the running behind that we haven't. Okay. So one of the ways to know if you're making the right decisions or if the decisions that you make is right for your life is to have a when we make decisions out of our value system as well. When you understand your value system, when you understand your values and who you are, and you become comfortable with that, then you're comfortable with your decisions and know it's the right thing that you've done. And then you're not comparing yourself to anybody else, because sometimes that's what we do when there's those things running on the background. There's comparison going on. We compare ourselves and we think, well, they're doing that and I'm only doing this. Not knowing that your this is exactly where you're supposed to be. You're in the right place. You've not made the wrong decision. You've not done the wrong thing. You're right where you're supposed to be. And in order to get to that place is when I used to do practice teacher with social work students, one of the first things I do with a student is to understand what their values are. What drives you? What makes you do the things you do? What makes you make the decisions that you make? And so we would sit down and we work out what their values are. And when we do that because we don't want them to, when you're doing social work, you're working with vulnerable people, and we don't want the social workers' values to make the decisions. We want social work values to be able to do it. And so it's the same thing in your life. When you understand what your values are, so the decisions that you make are made by you because you understand yourself, you're comfortable with who you are, just the way you are, at the place you're at. And when you're not comfortable, when you've done your assessment and you're not comfortable with that, then you know what to do in order to move on because you're so comfortable in yourself. So when you know that, though, when you understand your values, it gives you a sense of grounding and identity, a sense of peace, knowing that I'm doing the right thing for me for this stage in my life, or my next step is going to be what's best and right for me. It might not be what everybody else would agree with, but this is what I'm doing for me for right now. Okay. And you're comfortable in that, and you're not being overrun by fear and shame and guilt and those feelings of inadequacy that makes you feel like you're not good enough. All right. So that's one of the ways that unprocessed trauma will run in the background, and that's one of the ways that it will disrupt your decision making. And in order for that not to happen is to become, the journey to understanding ourselves clearly and being comfortable with ourselves. It's a process, it's a journey, and it's not a sprint. it's long distance running, because we're always going to be growing and learning and understanding more about ourselves, learning more about our likes and our dislikes, learning more about the things that we're comfortable with, how we shift and change. And sometimes different levels of growth requires a new assessment again. And it's not a tiring process, it's an enjoyable process. It's um, a movement that makes you become more comfortable and settled. Like I like certain types of music, and there was a period in my life when I stopped listening to that kind of music because everybody around me tells me that I shouldn't like that kind of music, but I do. And so I've gone back to knowing, you know what, this is the kind of music I like, and you might not like it, but that's fine with me. These are the kind of books that I like to read. This is how I like to spend my time. This is the kind of foods that I like. This is who I am. And there are always people who will accept you for exactly who you are, versus sometimes the larger crowd that won't get you at all because they want to shift you and mold you into their idea of who you should be. But how confusing is that? Because everybody's idea, they're so different. And if you allow yourself to kind of succumb to who other people think you should be, then you're going to miss out on living the life that you should were supposed to live. So I hope you'll be ready to take the journey of becoming you. And there's a link above the video that you can get some more ideas, or learn some more about how to take that journey of self-discovery and understand what drives my decision making and what are my values. How do I get to understand my values? And when I understand my values, what's the wall? What's preventing me from acting in those versus continuing in the comfort zone of being who everybody else wants me to be? It's a challenging journey. I won't tell you otherwise, but it's a beautiful and amazing journey and a peaceful, more comfortable place to be. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'm trying to be here every day throughout the rest of this month, but I'm going to take it day by day and see how I go. Some days it's just not the best day to come on and to do a workshop, or even if it's a small one. So yeah, I'm hoping to be with you here every day. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about more about how you can understand your values and some of the questions you can ask yourself. So I'll see you then, hopefully. Take care.